Now, I realize that reindeer pull Santa's sleigh, but after watching some of our champion 2-year-olds from the first state, well, they just might be getting an invite to head up to the North Pole. Let's see who crossed the wire first in the $100,000 Delaware Standardbred Breeders' Fund Finals for 2-year-olds. And we'll begin with the freshman Trotting Colts.
They come to the top of the stretch now, turning for home. It's Political Foe by just ahead. Egos and Attitudes on the outside as they come off the turn. Here's Egos and Attitudes up to get the lead, coming through the stretch. Political Foe fighting back toward the inside, coming toward the wire. Egos and Attitudes on the outside to get it.
Egos and Attitudes battled tough on the outside and stayed strong on the front to win in 159-3 with John Roberts driving. The son of Great George II and Aerobic Linda is trained by Bib Roberts, who co-owns the trotter with M&W Stables and breeder Graham Grace Stables.
Tell me how the race unfolded for you, Jonathan.
Well, the race kind of, a few of them left pretty hard, and they were battling for the lead. I just moved my colt when he felt like he was ready and let him do his thing. I didn't really try to ask him or keep him from doing anything. I just wanted to let him do it on his own.
You have a connection with your horse. Your dad is the trainer, so you know a little bit more about the horse. What can you tell me?
Well, we raced his mother and the sire, so, he shows a little bit of both of them in him.
Easy on the track to drive, basically.
He can be a handful sometimes. He's pretty good in the race. It's before the race that he can be a little bit of a handful, but once he gets up to speed, he's pretty good.
Let's move on to the DSBF final for our young male pacers.
And they're at the top of the stretch now, turning for home, and the lead has vanished for Remember Me VK. Here's Smoking Joey farther out. Roddy's hot again, and Son of a Sizzle fastest of all. And Son of a Sizzle from the outside draws away. Then it's Roddy's hot again, Smoking Joey third, 152-1.
Son of a Sizzle, owned by Mike White, picked up his victory in 152-1. Bred by Charles and Diana Kersey, the Son of Life Sizzles paced up from the back of the pack and came home the fastest for the Gary Green stable. After the race, Dover Downs publicity director and Hall of Famer Marv Bachrod met up with another Hall of Famer, winning driver David Miller.
No surprise for David to be here at Dover Downs. You're here for the big race. That was quite a trip.
Yeah, up the backstretch, I didn't like our chances there, but he was really strong and kicked home very good.
Well, the pace was fast. It's cool here and windy, and I guess it does help a horse that's coming from off the pace.
Yeah, but I thought he was too far out of it, but he's such a nice horse, and he's pretty determined to get there, and he did.
Insofar as getting on young horses, you've had the opportunity over the years to do so. How do you get acclimated to a young horse in a big race?
Well, like in this horse's case, he's such a nice horse, natural, very easy to get along with. I'm just lucky to pick up the drive on him.
We're bringing in the girls now. Let's see the winner of the Filly Trotting Final.
127-1 around the final turn. Penny Paratrooper 3.5. I Got Spunk is in second, followed by Silence is Bliss. In fourth, Call Me Miss A. They're at the top of the stretch, turning for home, and Penny Paratrooper turns home, leading by 2.5 lengths. In second, I Got Spunk ducks to the inside, coming through the stretch. It's Penny Paratrooper. Penny Paratrooper's got the lead. I Got Spunk gains gradually, nearing the wire. Penny Paratrooper's in front. I Got Spunk, Silence is Bliss in 158-2.
Penny Paratrooper and driver Ross Woofenden made a move up the backstretch and got to the front and got to the wire first. Bred by Rod Allen, the daughter of CR Commando, won by a neck in 158-2 for Folk Stables and Carlo Policino, who's also the trainer.
Tell me about the trip. You drove her like she was the best.
Who are we talking about? Penny
Penny.
Paratrooper?
Yeah.
No, she's always been good every time I've driven her. Only thing is she gets a little hot on the gate. That was her main problem. Obviously got better as she went further along, and nice horse.
Tell me about the trip, because weren't you like getting a perfect trip and then you pulled her? Or?
No, there was a hot horse in the race, and that had like a 10-length break on us. He was going some speedy fractions. We were trying to keep off the pace because I didn't want to go that fast, and then as soon as I caught him, well, you know he's going to stop, so you got to get going.
Finally, our pacing ladies are taking center stage for their final.
They're at the top of the stretch now, turning for home. They're sprinting for the wire. Totally Rusty and Perfect Bags. They come through the stretch. It's Totally Rusty in front. Perfect Bags on the outside. Totally Rusty, Perfect Bags gaining, but it'll be Totally Rusty over Perfect Bags. Wave back, Gigi Dale, 152.
Totally Rusty, trained by Doug Lewis, became the fastest 2-year-old filly pacer in Delaware Standardbred Breeders' Fund history, as Corey Callahan drove her in a wire-to-wire 152 victory. The Chestnut filly is owned and bred by Carter Racing Stable and is the only foal of Rusty's For Real. Take it away, Marv Bachrod, who's with the Winning Connections.
This was quite an event. You came home, I think, 26 in a piece, and I think that's the fastest time ever for a DSBF filly final. So that's plenty of credentials.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, I mean, we got pretty sensible fractions up there on the front. I mean, the other one to beat was on my back, and you know, when I sprinted away there in the turn, I thought she would just run off. I mean, we come 26, but you know, Jimmy's filly did a really good job to. I mean, she was still coming at me. That's a big quarter for 2-year-old fillies.
This was a really good bunch of Delaware sired 2-year-olds. How about your thoughts going into the race? You did have the rail. That's an advantage, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big advantage, and she's done everything right so far. I mean, you know, the only race that she did get beat was the final there at Harrington, and it was a rough trip. You know, I mean, she really showed some guts to put up that big half and just get beat there at the wire. So she's done everything right, and I'm, you know, just fortunate to be able to drive her.
Thank you. Al, this has been quite a thrill for you because this is from your sire, your mare, and it's your championship.
You know, it's almost silly, you know, to have a totally Rusty, who's bred by my horse Rusty's For Real, who I had for sire in Delaware, but I was the only one that bred to her, and I did I put one mare to her, and that's the result. But I tell you, this year, when you look at the fractions that horse went and what she has done when she went that trip at Harrington and then got beat, you know, just the quality of the horses that we have racing here, and even tonight, just to have you know, our friends Perfect Bags right there, and even GT Dio, who's been, you know, amazing horse, and it's just I'm really proud to have you know, the filly like that as a 2-year-old pacing filly going those fractions. It's really incredible.
For the last couple years, we haven't seen you as much as usual here. You're driving race cars now.
Yeah, that is true. I do have 600 horses, but they're all under the hood. And when I tell that horse to stop, it does. Unlike a lot of these horses, but that's what I'm doing. I actually pare down a lot, but I'm not going anywhere, especially when I have a night like tonight and Totally Rusty, and Rusty Real's still there. The sire's available. You can check it out there.
One last thing about your racing stock cars. What's that coming? How's it coming into 2015?
Our big race, the third weekend in January, is at the Daytona for the 24 Hours of Daytona, and I'll be all right. I'm driving a Viper. Okay, no one knows that yet, but that's the car that I'll be driving. So very excited for that.
Congratulations to all of the Delaware Standardbred Breeders' Fund winners from the past 2014 season. And we'll see more First Date Sired series in the spring of 2015.